gentlemen, he is the problem child, Jake El Gallo. Oh! Making his entrance to the ring, the challenger, AJ Anthony Joshua.
MMA striking coach, man I've known for over 20 years. And our unofficial scorer, Sean Wheelock, gave the opening round to the returning legend.
Here we go, live.
A close fight, so you don't want...
For AJ not having it on his own.
I think both guys actually taking it a little bit.
Ching 2.
Body back fall. There's the left hand.
Put it fairly wide, haven't you, Carl? I know Tony Bellew has too. Just seen Anthony Joshua so fast. Left, right, left hook comes
to it. His age,
yeah,
he's been pretty busy. Look at him.
That's a half.
Anthony Joshua. The Joshua
Answers with the right hand.
Left through the guard.
Oh,
What uppercut there?
Joshua misses with the right.
Joshua swings and comes up empty with the right dot. What followed in the Jake Paul and Thony? Joshua matchup wasn't chaos, it was tension. A drawn-out heavyweight storyline where patience mattered. Pressure kept building, and every moment carried weight. Nothing was handed to either fighter.
Anthony Joshua, as we all know, never been down, amateur or pro. But there's some
It's those a lazy jab. That's what he wanted.
That was Silva.
very loose to play a part in this.
From the opening bell, Jake moved with ease and confidence, light on his feet, throwing probing shots and looking to dictate the pace while showing he deserved to be there. As Joshua remained composed and upright, reading the moment with steady eyes and controlled posture, choosing patience over pursuit and allowing the fight to develop on his terms.
Jab right there that really knocked Jake back. And we see that. Only one big shot, 2 points.
Matching with the right hand. So a lot of focus on Joshua's.
We'll find a pretty busy pace.
Should have the crowd like that. Traction, the glamorous. Looks in control, but up close as he tries the uppercut.
The early rounds were a chess match wrapped in muscle, Jake circling, feinting, trying to disrupt timing, and Joshua measuring distance, stepping just enough to remind him how small the ring can feel against a seasoned heavyweight. As the fight settled, exchanges grew sharper, clinches became battles of strength, and the pace turned into a mental grind rather than a sprint.
Jolting right hand sends Joshua down. Anthony Joshua floored and hurt here in the 6th round.
The opening rounds played out like a thinking man's fight, powered by brute force, with Jake circling and feinting to break rhythm while Joshua calmly gauged range, taking subtle steps that made the ring feel tighter against an experienced heavyweight. And as the bout found its rhythm, the exchanges intensified. Clinches turned into strength tests, and the contest shifted into a battle of focus and endurance rather than pure speed.
Loose to play a part in this.
Landing his jab right there that really knocked Jake back. And we see that. Only one big shot, 2 points.
The matching with the right hand. So a lot of focus on Joshua's.
We'll find a pretty busy pace.
Should have the crowd like that. Traction, the glamorous.
The tension in the arena spiked whenever Joshua set his feet, while Jake answered, mounting pressure by digging deeper, staying composed, and refusing to break. And as the fight moved into its middle stages, it became something rare. Less about selling a storyline and more about enduring key moments, managing exhaustion, and making smart decisions under stress, with neither fighter forcing the action, neither giving in, and each round unfolding as a live test of belief against experience.
It's a dangerous place to be, and anything can happen. And you hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you know, you still have to go to bed at night knowing that you just done your job. It wasn't personal.
I mean, yeah, look, I mean, it is a big task, but I mean, if this fight were 14 months ago or whatever, however many months ago you had the belt, then when I win, it would have been me becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. So
you would have beat me for the belt.
And you claim you're better than Tyson, all these people.
As the fight reached its final phases, sweat, labored breathing, and sheer resolve told the story, forcing both men to depend on calm judgment as much as raw strength. And while it lacked flash or recklessness, it carried a steady, controlled intensity. With ambition meeting heavyweight reality and leaving the crowd energized not by one defining moment, but by a contest that posed a question only the ring can ask and kept everyone watching for the answer.
Oh, yeah. 243.4. 243.4.
243.4, Mr. Anthony Joshua. 243.4. I'm gonna need all media to scoot back this way, guys. All media, scoot back. Security.
Even before the opening bell or a single punch, the difference was already visible at the win, subtly shaping expectations for what was to come. As Anthony Joshua hit the scale at 243.4 pounds, appearing lean, composed, and deliberate. Not oversized for spectacle, but shaped like a heavyweight, prepared for the demands of 12 punishing rounds. There was nothing extra or performative about it. Just the calm assurance of someone used to managing size, strength, and expectation at the same time. And at that number, Joshua appeared tuned for control and resilience, heavy enough to assert physical presence while staying measured and patient rather than forcing exchanges, making it feel less like a show of muscle and more like a quiet declaration of readiness. While Jake Paul came in at 216 pounds, clearly lighter and sharper, carrying the self-belief of a fighter relying on conditioning, speed and stamina over raw mass, a weight that hinted at a strategy centered on movement, timing, and confidence in his engine.
216.6. Absolutely, Giles! You listen to me, brother! When the ring bells, I'm coming in there and I'm coming on his ass! You know who I are! I are him!
At 216 pounds, Jake appeared athletic and prepared. Not intimidated by the size difference, but clearly conscious of it. Choosing efficiency over added bulk and sharp execution over sheer presence. A contrast on the scale that didn't register as a flaw, but as a calculated risk built on preparation, speed, and confidence, closing the gap against a significantly heavier opponent. And together those numbers told a story before the opening bell. Two physiques representing two philosophies, entering the same ring with very different expectations for how the night would play out. And as the wane wrapped and the seriousness of the matchup settled in, Joshua took the microphone and made it clear that calm shouldn't be mistaken for mercy. A moment that felt less like ego and more like seasoned awareness. Not dismissing Jake, but acknowledging the danger of belief itself. Emphasizing that underestimating a man who truly trusts himself is the fastest way to invite trouble. And when Joshua said fans would see the full version of him, it wasn't empty talk, but a measured warning delivered with professionalism. No hand-holding. No charity rounds, no sideshows, just a disciplined heavyweight executing his craft. And the way he breaks it down feels like a master at work rather than a brute. Showing that knockouts aren't luck, but the result of careful process. Built over time rather than forced, and when he speaks about integrity, that's a detail some fans might overlook because Joshua isn't here to play hero or villain. He's here to honor the sport, doing his job the right way, knowing there are no shortcuts at heavyweight.
This guy's deluded. Nah. Look,
An amateur coming into the game with no experience, he's taken on some good names. They may be old, they may be from different combats in terms of MMA and so on, but he's got in the ring at a decent level, fought Tommy Fury and so on. So he believes in himself. I take it seriously. I respect it.
Yeah, but their levels.
And yes, he leans into the knockout talk with a grin. Because everyone watching knows why the sport comes alive when punches start landing. But this wasn't Joshua hyping violence, it was him saying, "I'm not here to soften it," and at 243 pounds. With power in both hands and no interest in holding back. He comes across as a man fully aware of who he is, what's expected, and how fine the line is between showmanship and seriousness. And when a heavyweight speaks this calmly, clearly, and unapologetically, that's when you stop joking and start paying attention.
The fact that you've been Olympic champion, 2-time world champion, are you going to have to carry him to make it a spectacle? Or is he going to get the full, AJ?
The full. The full. I've never gone in there and knocked someone out within 10 seconds. There's a methodical process to knocking someone out. But if the opportunity presents itself, I'm not planning on carrying Jake for 1 second more than I have.
And right after Joshua asserted his calm, heavyweight authority, Jake Paul steps up with the confidence of someone who's already faced his own destiny in his mind. Radiating what feels like peak Jake Paul energy, part focused visionary, part larger-than-life personality. Fully convinced the universe is aligned with his path, unshaken and unhurried. Speaking as if this moment had been mapped out on his vision board years ago. And whether you buy into it or not, that kind of self-belief is dangerous because it rarely falters. And when he talks about people not seeing what he sees, you can believe it not because he's objectively correct, but because that conviction lets him walk into a storm smiling with the corny, calculated, and oddly memorable charm of a Starbucks barista line that's pure Jake.
To win by knockout, what do you make of that? People here in the States as well.
I love him. That's what we gotta do. That's what we're supposed to do. From the days of watching Mike, whether it's Foreman, Shavers, why do people love boxing? They don't love it from fighters that box 12 rounds and look great technically. They want to see people getting knocked out. It's just a game I'm in. People got to understand it. And I know people know where I'm coming from. Yeah, like, oh my God, he's so crazy. No, they want to see knockouts.
Jake tries to turn tension into comfort, making a 6'6" heavyweight feel like just another character in his story. And when he talks about nerves, meditation, breath work, and letting energy flow, it's not fear, it's preparation in influencer language. Something you might chuckle at, but can't dismiss. And I love how he casually shrugs off the scripted fight chatter, acting like this is real life, not a Netflix drama, while also behaving as if the world is about to pivot around him. And here's the key. Jake isn't pretending it's easy, calling it the hardest thing he's ever done. And that honesty amplifies his confidence, showing he's not reckless, but committed. And whether that belief survives contact is another story. Yet walking into this moment with jokes, calm, breathing, and no visible intimidation tells one thing: Jake Paul might be outmatched. But he enters upright, smiling, and fully convinced this chapter ends the way he envisioned. And in boxing, belief may not win fights, but it certainly makes them uncomfortable.
Many of them are rooting for you. Some have said to me, he's deluded. What would you say to them?
I know you got him picked. Like, that's what it is, you know? Of course, people don't believe in me. They don't see what I can do. They're not in the gym with me. So I don't blame them for having that opinion and thinking that this is a crazy fight for me. But I see something completely different that no one else sees, and they're going to get to see it in roughly...
By the end of the night, it felt less like a fight and more like a stress test for boxing itself, where discipline, belief, preparation, and pressure collided in the same ring to see what would give first. With one fighter bringing years of calm, controlled experience, and the other fueled by confidence, vision, and the refusal to feel out of place. And that clash made every moment count, not for flashy highlights or viral moments, but for how each man carried the weight of expectation once the noise faded and the work began. And now I want you in on this conversation because bouts like this don't end when the bell rings. Did experience dictate the pace? Or did belief push limits further than expected? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Debate respectfully. And if you're vibing with Boxing Headquarters, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.